As a house owner, a contractor, an electrician, or a beginner, are you confused when it comes to where and how to position the security lighting point of a house during the conduit piping? From a security perspective, the three major reasons or purposes for installing security lighting is 1. To create a psychological deterrent to intrusion. 2. Is to enable detection at night, mainly at night. 3. Is to enhance the capabilities of the CCTV system around that compound. For instance, in a fenced compound, the security of that house or the compound, we could start from the fence wall. At the fence wall, it could be that there are some security lighting points within or outside the fence wall. Secondly, there could be security lighting points within the garden area, if there are gardens or garden around the compound. And lastly, on the outside walls of those main buildings, there are main buildings, either a building or more than one building in a particular compound. There should be security lighting points on the outside walls of the building in the compound. Now, in today's video, we are going to be discussing where and how to best position the security lighting points, mainly on the outside wall of a building, considering 3 important things. Firstly, we are going to look at the positioning of the security lighting point, the acceptable or the best positioning anybody can think of. Secondly, we are going to look at the other positioning based on the choice of clients or house owners. Sometimes they don't mind where the security light is positioning, whether it is at the normal position or under the window level where children can easily go and damage their security lighting. And thirdly, we are going to look at the advantages and the disadvantages involved in the choices that people make. So stick around and grab the best. Hello wonderful friends, you're welcome back to this channel. In fact, you are special people and I celebrate you. In case you are new to this channel, you are welcome. My name still remains announced and this is Electric Age. Before we continue, whether you are a beginner, whether you are a contractor, an engineer, an electrician, or you are just starting up, I want you to do something. What I want you to do is to smash the like button, share and subscribe, because we have more tips that will interest you. In case you have comments or questions concerning things that bothers you in this video, please don't hesitate to ask for questions. Drop your comments at the comment section below because I'm going to answer all your questions and attempt to all your comments. Thank you. Let's move on. Permit me to say that in engineering we make use of sketches for better understanding of whatever concept we want to explain. Here we're going to use a bungalow and a duplex. These two, we're going to use these two to represent a bungalow and we're going to use these two to represent a duplex. So take a closer look at this sketch here. Here we have an example of a bungalow. This is the outside part of the building. This is just an edge of the bungalow. And this is the inside. This is a door. Let me explain this sketch first. This is a door. These are 2 windows. This one is the same door when you get inside. This is the roof. This one is the roof, outside roof, facing the sun. Here is the inside. Let's assume we are inside now. So, starting from this, the normal positioning of our security lighting point should be on top of the lintel. That is the acceptable positioning or the point where we should generally place our security lighting point. Now, assuming if we place our security lighting point here, remember the security lighting point from a security perspective, 1 is to create a psychological deterrent to intrusion. Any intruder, let's assume the intruder is a snake. This is a snake here. This snake, while coming, maybe passing, even if the snake is not aware that there is brightness here and it's just passing or chasing something, you with the help of this lighting point here and the help of your CCTV camera, let's assume you have a CCTV camera here, then there is a psychological, you've created a psychological deterrent to intruders. Let's assume the intruder is not a snake, maybe something else, maybe a human. By the time the human comes into the compound and wants to pass around, the person may not know that there is a CCTV camera here. Of course, with this, you have created a kind of security within your house. The light itself is not securing the house, but the light is helping in the security of the house. The light is helping the camera to capture this image, this snake. Now, we've seen the positioning, the best positioning or the acceptable positioning. Now, let's look at how to position it. We've seen where, best place where to position. Now, let's look at how to position it. Now, going internal, going inside the building, this is the lintel. Here is our lintel. Here is the parapet. Our lighting or our piping or the conduit piping should be placed on top of the lintel and on top of the wood. Now, here we have our piping. We need to crack a little of this with the blocks to go outside. It will go outside to actually come out at this point where we need our box to be placed. And remember, our box could either be your U-box, your Y-box, or you may even use your looping box with the help of the bushes. You can still bend your pipe here to face outside. You put your box with your bushes, or using the Y-box and the U-box, you may not need the bushes. So we've seen how to do that. You need to crack it. You need to use your machine, or you use your chisel and hammer to achieve that with your pipe bent towards the outside so that it will point outside and your box should come there. That is that. Now, the second thing we're going to look at the duplex. Using these two sketches, this is that of a duplex. This one has been completed. Here we are at the day. For instance, this day we have our metal structure. The metal structure is in place. The board has been prepared by the carpenter. So while we arrive as an electrician, how do you place your security lighting point after you must have finished piping the inside or the top of the day? So look at how you achieve this. Assuming this is a cantilever, whether there's a cantilever or no cantilever, all you need to know here is the block. Here is the internal side, the inner side of the block. This is the outer side of the block. From the outer side of the block, this is where you start putting or cracking the wall. Assuming this is pipe, now this pipe is heading towards this other point where you have another security lighting point. And here you have the security lighting point. Let me show you how you achieve that. As a beginner, what you need to do is to firstly measure the distance where you want to place your security lighting point. If you have two security lighting points and you want to place them, you need to divide the space, and when you achieve the desired distance or the measurement, all you need to do is to crack the block a little downward, such that it will accommodate two pipes. You also crack this downward such that it will accommodate two pipes. So by the time you know that the space provided can accommodate two pipes, then you bring down your bend, you provide your two bends, place the two pipes down such that later you put your either Y box or your U box here. The same thing goes here and there until you get to the last point where you put only one pipe. Now we're going to look at this. Here we have the pillars. Look at the pillars, 1, 2, 3. Look at the lintel. So this lighting point should rest on top of the lintel. Then here we are going to go to the next point. The next point where people make choices. There are choices clients make based on the fact that the house is there. So they have the right to make any choice. But one thing I want you to know here is whether you are a house owner, you need to be aware of the fact that there are some factors you need to consider in choices of security location, points where you put your security lighting point. You need to take note of the fact that the normal positioning is what I've just shown you. On top of the lintel is the normal position. So when you place your lighting point below the window level, this is the window level, or below the window level, this is window level. When you place it below the window level, be aware of the fact that children will have access to the security lighting point placed under the window level. When this point is the normal level where you should put your security lighting point, you leave the normal level. Even when the engineer or the contractor tells you with the normal position, you say no and place it here. Then when you place it here, it could be destroyed by anybody. Children can be playing, they may decide, or anything. Children, they are good at damaging things like this, except if that compound is protected from children, or it is positioned at a point where children will not have access to these gadgets. We are going to look at how advantageous and how disadvantageous it is based on the choice that we make. Now, going back to the first one, our bungalow, you will see that at this point where our security lighting point is positioned, it will almost be impossible for anybody to touch it. Of course, nobody will touch it. Even if that person is an iroko. We've not seen anybody tall like an iroko tree. So before somebody can access this, the person should need a ladder. The person will need or should need a ladder. By that time, you know that somebody is coming for the maintenance of your security lights. But when you place it below the lintel level, first thing is that your camera may capture the image, but somebody will find it easy to damage your security lights when you are not there. It will be very easy for them to damage your security light. So we need to look at the advantages. When you place it here, it will shine towards the ground such that the ground will be illuminated at night and your camera will capture whatever thing it is. Even if you place it at the ground level and you want it to be bright on the ground level, yes, it may be brighter than up there on top of the lintel, but you need to check the disadvantages. Here also is the same thing with what we are discussing here. Likewise here, this is the best positioning, not below the window level. I hope this video interests you. If this video interests you, you've not shown us a like, you've not shared or subscribed, I don't know what you are waiting for. Just smash the like button, share and subscribe, because we have more of our interesting videos coming your way. Thank you for watching. Remain blessed.